We are here with Fighting Irish defensive coordinator Brian VanGorder. Coach, welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you on. I guess we'll start off by asking, really, I think it's interesting to think about that you were making personnel decisions in the NFL before you came back to the college ranks. Now that we're on signing day, how does that recruiting process differ between college and the NFL, and how do you make those decisions, in different ways?
Well, there's a big difference. NFL is all driven towards evaluation and deciding whether or not you want to draft a player. Of course, you have the free agency, which would be a little bit maybe closer to the recruiting process of college. But it's all about investigation into a player, everything about him in the NFL, and making a decision. Where recruiting is really about relationships, kind of painting the picture of development for a player, and certainly at a place like Notre Dame, what Notre Dame's going to do for a youngster in his future.
So you talk a little bit about those relationships, and I think it's something that you do exceptionally well is form those with players. And how do you kind of think about that process of kind of you're not quite their friend, but you're more of a father figure and a teacher. How do you think about that process even throughout recruiting?
Yeah, I think when you say that respective to a father figure, I don't know if that's completely accurate, but I think it's in the ballpark for me.
Right.
I'm trying to share a lot of, experience. I've been through quite a bit as a high school coach, a college coach, NFL experience, and then having 5 children, trying to relate a lot of things to a 17-year-old relative to the football development and picture, and then what again, a university can do, for a youngster, and trying to get a 17-year-old to kind of focus in on, 4 or 5 years from now versus, tomorrow is a difficult thing. But I try to, come across that way in his consideration of in this case, Notre Dame. And at the same time, just having some fun talk too,
Right.
Trying to find out what a guy's about, what's your hobbies, what's your girlfriend, what do you like to do, mom and dad, and all the things just about personal life that, you try to find out more about a guy relative to, again, the things he enjoys.
Yeah, and I think that kind of plays obviously in our room as well. As you see, it's the trust factor that's been developed in our room. But I kind of am curious, since your time at Georgia and really the tremendous success that you enjoyed there, how really has recruiting and even, I guess you could talk broadly about the college game changed from 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005 to now. Even in just a brief time, I feel it's a tremendous change.
Yeah, a big change. And the recruiting part of it, because of social media,
Right.
is just so different. And to be quite honest with you, there's a lot of things I just kind of shake my head at. But you got to stay focused on the things that are true to you in respects to recruiting and how a young man fits in. The game itself, yeah, very interesting. But when I think about at Georgia and the competition of the SEC at the time. The SEC was kind of built on running the football, and you saw a lot of, 21 personnel back in the game. Third down, you'd get your 11. And you had teams back then that were kind of South Carolina, for instance. And actually Lou Holtz was there at the time with Skip. They were starting to run the read zone. Vanderbilt did a little bit with Cutler,
Right.
while he was there. But it was just and what's happened is that they've just created such a space game, and they've made it really a personnel game.
Right.
So your personnel, as you look at things on defense, got to be able to cover in space. They've got to be able to tackle in space. And still hold up to, disadvantages sometimes in the run game that spreading a defense out can create. Having said that, probably the biggest difference is the quarterback run game.
Right.
And, as you know, the numbers just don't work for you
Right.
defensively. So if you've got a great running quarterback, again, it's become very, very difficult. And if you look at scoring from back when I was in the SEC
Right.
to today's college game, it's just dramatically different.
And yardage too. I mean,
Yardage, it's just way different.
How do you think about the spread offense as you're talking 11, 10 personnel, and constantly staying in that, and then people are going fast on top of that, right? How do you think about the recruiting process for a player that can play 10, 11 personnel, but also be effective against a 21 personnel team. You know, so I feel like that's got to be something that's challenging for a defense coordinator.
I think it is, and I think that as we look at our roster, that the makeup of now the physical traits that you're looking for from defensive line to linebackers are really that you have to have a combination. So obviously you still want the size of defensive linemen for Stanford type offense, and then you've got to have the speed, maybe a little bit lighter,
right,
that can run versus the spread and the no huddle offenses. So it's really created it's a fine line, and it's really a lot of fun as you look at it and you try to construct it to give yourself a lot of versatility respective to physical traits.
Well, we could talk ball all day, but I got to get in the final segment here called the hot topic. So it's going to be 16 rapid fire questions. You're going to answer them as fast as you possibly can and as honestly as you possibly can. Are you ready for this section?
Fast and honest. Okay. Difficult combination.
You can do it. Here we go. That brings us to the hot topic. Number 1, would you rather go for 1 or 2?
1.
Blitz or drop 8?
Blitz.
I knew that one. Rock, paper, or scissors?
Rock.
If you were a type of food, what would you be?
Steak.
1 word to define you.
Intense.
This is a good one. David Pollock or Jalen Smith?
Next.
I could guess. Favorite Disney villain?
Oh, favorite Disney villain. Man, I don't know if I know that anymore. My kids are all grown.
Scar?
Scar? Scar.
Favorite song of all time?
Ooh.
Tough, I know. First thing comes to your mind.
Born in the USA.
There you go. Do you think Disney World is a trap operated by a mouse?
Yes.
Who has a better goatee, you or Mark McGwire?
I do.
Do you use umbrellas, Coach?
Occasionally.
I mean, I can't.
Once in a while, if it's there, I'll use it. It's not it's not sitting at the door when I walk out the door.
Nothing else to be said.
Okay.
Go-to dance move.
What was Travolta in that Saturday Night Live disco, man?
Coach, go to your basketball.
God, gotta go basketball. It's that or funky, right?
Yeah, right. If your life was a movie, what actor plays you?
Joe Schmidt.
Good answer. Scale 1 to 10. How attractive are you, Coach?
Would depend on the competition.
Relative. I like that. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Superpower?
Yep.
I'd fly.
I like that. If you had to be tickled by one person on the team, who would it be?
I don't know all the nutritionists' names.
They're not on the team. Coach, you made it through the hot topic.
All right,
this
Joe
was
Schmidt.
So fun.
The Joe Schmidt Show.
Yes, oh my gosh.
Doesn't get any better than
and
this.
we're